Welcome along to this episode of Voices of Fostering, where today I'm delighted to be joined by one of our lovely foster carers, Mark. Welcome, Mark.
Hello, Helen. You all right?
Hi, yeah, how are you?
Yeah, I'm fine, thank you.
Good stuff. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I'm really looking forward to hearing all about you and your fostering journey. So, I understand you've been fostering for 12 years, is that right?
Yeah, I think that's right. 12 or 13, I can't quite remember when it was. I think it
Well,
was 2000 and yeah, 25. Yeah, it's probably
13,
coming up
maybe?
to 30.
Yeah, something like that. So that's quite a long time, isn't it? So if you can cast your mind back, Mark, can you tell us, 12, 13 years ago, what is it that led you to fostering? Why did you decide to do it?
Well, to be honest with you, Helen, it was really through my wife Maria because she's had a kind of association with children all her life, and we've got three grown-up kids of her own, and she was teaching, and our kids were getting a certain age or leaving home, going uni or whatever. And well, they were in their, what, they're now 30, so they'd be just over early 20s. So, and she said, like, the teaching is getting hard. She said, if I could, we were thinking about, discussion about doing the fostering. So, I mean, she'd run youth clubs and mother and toddler groups and stuff like that. So we had a discussion, said, perhaps give it a go. So I've always thought that I could, even like a long time, had a thought that I'd like to be a mentor for lads, young lads.
Yeah.
That was before I even thought about doing it because, but so that was it really. We had a thought, and then we just got on the phone. I don't know where we got I think we just applied for some number or some, can't remember who it was. Different ones we rang up, and then we got back, and then all these voicemails. Can you give us a call? But that was it really. Yeah.
Well, Mark, you've left me massively intrigued, and I'm a bit wacky as well. So would you be willing to share the wackiness?
Well, I've never told anyone this actually. I don't know whether we should do, but no, it's a true story. Sadly, our first baby, and then Maria was really ill, and she was in hospital, and um, he 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 was born premature, and then sadly, one thing and another, he sadly died. Well, we were there when he died, and so there was all of this association, and other things have happened since then, and we've got into this. I'm into this like now, this kind of positivity, positive thinking, and all that sort of thing. And Maria has gone and seen a medium, and then we've had other things, and then every time she sees a medium or someone else does, our son in the other world come through.
Yeah.
And the latest one, well, a couple of years ago, the lady said, "Do you realise that because you lost your son, this is one of the reasons that you're doing fostering, because somehow you've got this thing with kids,
Yeah.
and it's like he's your guardian angel." So it's like a bit, but it's true. He's the latest one. Uh, she went to this lady just off Facebook, and she come through and she said, "Oh, your son at home." She says, "But I've got your other son, and he's sitting on the settee with this lad, Joe, this young man. Joe, I don't know who Joe is." So my lad, who is out there now, Brian, his best mate, he sadly lost his life, and he said he's with Francis, our son,
Oh,
and so he always comes through, and he said, like there's this a thing with the kids, you're always associated with
yeah.
kids. So I think she's got this magic touch with her. I'm bigging her up. She's not here,
Yeah.
but no, and I'm a support. She's the good cop, and I'm the bad cop.
Oh, well, Mark, thank you so, so much for sharing that with us. And it's so wonderful to hear that you've got this real deep rooted reason why you're doing it, haven't you?
I don't, without even knowing it, I think
Yeah.
that it's like you can't explain it. You obviously, I think people that I've met, some amazing people, well, doing this sort of work, met this other lady, like the ones that's doing it. they've got this. You can't. You must know whether you would. You've got a thing for it. You would know deep down whether you would, if you've got a love for kids and for people in general, you would be good at it. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, that's what I think. It's for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah,
Absolutely. So I'm told, Mark, that your home is incredibly warm and welcoming, and you've got two lovely dogs as well.
yeah, we
So,
have. Yeah.
yeah. So, why is
Mm.
it so important to you to have, when children come into your home and they need caring for and they need looking after? Why is it so important to have that lovely atmosphere for them?
I think they can pick up on it because they come in and obviously they're suffering, some worse than others with trauma, whatever. And often the dogs, it's a deflection and they feel the warmth. The dog comes up to it. It's a barrier, it breaks down the
Yeah.
barriers. It does help, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, we take them out. If I work part time, like today, I'm not working, and we take them out for a fair walk. And we've got a young wire-haired dachshund who's crazy, and but the old boy now, he's a bit old. He's a bit infirm now. He's 13 and a half, a Labrador. So yeah.
Yeah, I think sometimes, Mark, some people can worry that dogs might be a barrier and might be a reason why they can't foster. Obviously, every situation is different. It depends,
Yeah.
what sort of animal. But most of the time, as you say, dogs can be really quite crucial, can't they, for creating those relationships and breaking the ice, can't they?
Yeah, well, the young one we've got, he's quite funny. He loves toys, where Rogan, the old boy, he's never bothered with that. But we've got a young girl. She's been with us a year now, and she's 8. And what he does, she weren't sure about him. He goes on her bed, and any cuddly toy, new one she gets, the next thing he's got it in the living room, running around with it. So it's like she's laughing, and he's naughty. So it breaks down. It's good for the kids. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
So, Mark, you've had, I would imagine, several children in your home now over the years, 12, 13 years, and you're still in touch with many of the young children that have stayed with you, aren't you? Can you tell us about
Oh,
that?
yeah. Yeah, quite a few. I mean, we've had about, I'd say, 25, something like that. And then quite a few we're in touch with, and but some you don't. But well, the one we had the longest, the young girl, she had literally lives 10 minutes down the road, and she sometimes comes round, causing or sometimes babysit. Well, she's in her early 20s now. She's done all right. She's got a job as
Yeah.
a state aid, a training up state agent. And the other ones, so other kids we've had, they come back. Yeah, got quite a really good relationship. It's been,
Yeah.
it's like, I think if you were looking to go into it, the thing that's hit me is that the day that I would apply for it, I wouldn't see all the positive outcomes that could come from it at that day, at that point in time. It's like, how can you can't explain it. It's like, it'd be like a journey, but you get so much positive, and you look back and other things it teaches you, which is quite potent at the minute, to respect and have, see where other people are coming from, different religions, different way of life. That you kind of look through things through their eyes. Whereas if I didn't do it, I wouldn't have thought that way. I'm sure that because we've had all sorts of different religions that supported them, and you know, so it's that side as well. What it can do to you is sort of educate you.
Yeah.
It's lecturing, but it is true. Yeah, it can
Yeah.
do that.
And
I mean, obviously, there's other thought. It's not easy. It's you'll have problems and you got to get through it. But yeah, it's me and Mars. We just take them on holiday and do everything. Maria had a meeting yesterday, and they said the young girls only been here a year. They said they can't believe it. They're like so happy. They're thinking of long term already, that's unusual.
yeah.
Yeah.
And how does that feel, Mark? Especially as you say, when you have children and young people who you've looked after who are now adults and you still see them and you see how well they're doing. How does that make you feel that you've contributed to that?
I'm absolutely it's I'm looking forward to when they get married, see what happens then. If we like at the wedding, you know what I mean. I'm overjoyed by it. I mean, I've got a lad that comes from Africa, and famously, I still can't believe it. Being a Leicester City fan, he were going off training. He says, "Mark, he come from poor country in Africa." He said, "I go off training." I went, "Where are you going?" Next thing, the local football team was next to the park. He weren't even training them there, and he was doing training on his own in the park. Anyway, things happened. He was meant to go back to his mum. It never happened. And then we went on holiday, took the girl that had the longest, the one that's the estate agent, and I got a phone call from the head coach at Leicester City. "Can you bring him down?" I thought. So then the agency said, "Well, they're only in respite." I said, "No, we'll have them back. We wanted them back." So we had him back. I said, "Mate, got Leicester City ringing up." So we went down, and the guy that owns the club now, I sat next to him in the dugout where they flew all these Thai kids out. And I thought, I can't believe this is happening. I'm freaking out. It was like, and he never even played a match. They just seen him in the park. He
Yeah.
was that talented.
Oh,
I
wow.
mean, so it was like, crikey, that wouldn't have happened if I hadn't have done it, you know.
Yeah.
But no, there's other things, that they do that that blows you away. Just the day to day. I mean, nearly all the kids we have, not all of them, but they seem to have a really good one. Maria was a teacher, and we just say you're going to do well. They all seem to do well at school. They seem to do quite well. So I don't know. We must be doing something right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. And Mark, you and Maria are such advocates, strong advocates for fostering, and you believe passionately about advocating for the children who are in care. Why do you think it's so important to do that?
We've stood by them so much. Actually, we've had to ease off now. In the past, we've had things happen that we stood by the kids so much that we were threatening our sort of, not a job, but we were like we kept getting told you'd have to, tone down a bit because, well, one instance, a young girl they agreed that she'd go on holiday, and this is what happened, and the parents agreed it, but she got a forced order thing on her passport. Where the girl's going abroad. What's it called? They had to get this legal document where she was allowed to go abroad because it stopped them because they were going to get married off young, you see. So she got this on her passport, so she couldn't go. So the authority agreed, we'll get it sorted. Anyway, 3 months, yep. Anyway, it got to about a month. Have you sorted it? No. 2 weeks. So this is true. They can't believe it. So they come round, says, "Oh, I'm sorry, she won't be going now because they've not lifted this order off her passport." And I said, "Well, we're going Greece, the other 2 kids." I said, "How do you think she's going to feel?" So she's in respite. We're going to have the story of all the holiday. I said, "No." She said, "No, we're going to put her in a restaurant." No, I said, "No, she's going to go." So luckily, my daughter was a barrister. Well, she still is. She found out that the judge that did the care order on her where he was sitting that day, and she emailed him, told him the story, what was going to happen. She can't go on holiday. The judge emailed directly I won't say which the authority it was, and said, "You need to get this sorted out." And then they come around and said, "Oh, she's going now." They can't. Said, "How did you do that?" They can't believe it. They've never had that before. So like that's the length. And then they said, "Well, you shouldn't. That's a little bit." Well, no, because it was the right thing to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's important to you and Maria that these children have the same opportunities as everybody else.
Yeah, but no, and I think if you did that, I'm not just saying that you've got to work within certain rules or whatever, but you sometimes that's not right. I mean, but once you then make a stand for that young girl, she's going to think, "Oh, hey, these really that they mean something now." That's why when she left, she'd been left, she said, "Oh, can I come round?" Well, she's over 18. "Can I come and see her?" And then she realized, when I left, I couldn't believe it. She says, "What you did." Yeah. So it's good, but Yeah, so that's just one of the stories, but
Yeah, I
yeah.
bet you've got so many stories, Mark. So, just to finish off, Mark, for anybody who's thinking about being a foster carer and maybe, they're feeling a bit hesitant about it. You said before about how at the beginning of the journey, you don't know what the benefits are going to be. You don't know what the end of the story or further on in the story is going to look like. What would you say to anybody who's at the beginning?
I would say that I can understand anyone that would think, "Oh, should I do this? What's gonna happen?" Then they perhaps think, I suppose it's all about what impact is that gonna have on their life, but then you could look at it another way. Well, what a good experience you'll get from meeting and having these young people live with you, the benefits it can do for you, rather than the other way around as well. It can do a lot for you, just the positive things that it could do for you. You could, once you've got these kids, that the good things that can happen, you can't always see that while you're doing it. But that's what I would say. I would say give it a go. If it don't work out after a while, at least you've tried. I mean, without doing it, well, it's all you do it. Yeah, definitely.
Oh, well, Mark, thank you so much for chatting to us and being so open and sharing your story with us today.
Yeah.
And best of luck with the future.
Yeah, thank you, Helen. All the best to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us for another episode of Voices of Fostering. If you'd like to find out more, head online and search National Fostering Group and make this the year you foster.